Hey guys, welcome back to Altcoin Buzz Spotlight, where we speak to entrepreneurs, innovators, and thought leaders in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space. Joining me today is Jonas, the CTO of Noia. Noia is a software solution which runs on top of the public internet, which aims to improve scalability, security, and speed. Powered by their own token, Noia looks to digitize internet transit, powered by a programmable internet backbone. If you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to hit the like button and let us know in the comment section below who you want us to interview next week and which topics you want us to cover. Jonas, great to have you on the program today. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, really excited to have you because you do have a recent partnership with Oracle. So firstly, congratulations on that. Tell us about it.
Sure. So we're also very excited about this partnership, and Oracle has been really great to us. We've been working with their teams for quite some time. So the first and one of the most important things for us was their feedback and internal POCs, and trying to understand what are the features most needed for our upcoming platform, the product, and what's the general feel from the enterprise perspective, and how we can bring this product to their clients. So it was super helpful in terms of the feedback. And then also we're engaging in all their go-to-market programs. So we got recently officially accepted as Oracle's partner network, and that is the first step in us getting on their marketplace, on their cloud marketplace, which is super important for us because then we get access to millions of their existing cloud users to also use our product and do sales there, and also bringing existing clients, both from Noia to Oracle's cloud infrastructure, and both engage existing Oracle's clients to start using Noia. And once we are on the platform, it will be a extremely easy, frictionless experience to start using Noia. And there's also new exciting ways coming up to bring users and companies onto both Noia and Oracle's cloud network. So we're really happy about this partnership, and we have very thankful for Oracle for working with us.
Yeah, so a lot of new developments for you guys, and of course for Oracle as well. So really excited to see how that plays out. But earlier in the introduction, I did actually give a quick intro into how Noia works in terms of digitizing the internet. So can you sort of tell us how successful have you guys been so far?
Sure. So it's been a pretty successful year. We've done a lot of progress, primarily on a couple things, right? So first and foremost is our upcoming platform. So we've done a lot of development, and we worked with enterprises, and several enterprises are testing the platform already to make it suitable both for everyday developers, system engineers, as well as the larger companies, and getting ready for launch. So we're expecting to launch this platform in the upcoming months, and most of the software engineering is done. We are perfecting the user interface and all the other bits required for production launch. So that's been really successful, and the platform will be a truly game changer in how you can create networks which are secure and automatically optimized. The second part is our network. We've also been very successful in maintaining our network. So we had more than 2,000 nodes daily already supported by our token and running in the ecosystem. So we created new node software where now we're ready for every Linux device, any machine on the internet to basically participate in the system and be a really point which we can use their internet capacity for these optimizations. And now we have an upcoming program coming where we know where and how many nodes we need and what capacities. So there will be hundreds of new locations, thousands of optimization opportunities, and a new node reward program. So we will launch the network very soon and start growing the network part as well. But as I said, we already had a lot of support and thousands of nodes running every day. And the final part, which will bring everything together, is our new tokenomics model. So we have a token out, and as I said, we use it for incentivizing the nodes to stay on the network. But the new token model will be, the goal of it is that it will be a self-governing, incentive-based, bandwidth exchange system, where it will be very clear, what rewards the nodes will be getting, how we're going to grow the network, when the utility will be, enough to pay for those incentives, and basically how we'll build the ecosystem to launch this, this new layer of internet. So it's like saying we've done, almost all the homework, and now we're at the pivotal point where things will get accelerated.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of work is going into, building that ecosystem, which I think is so important, in terms of, that success of any project. So it's going to be really great to see how things go and how things continue to build throughout the rest of the year. But I want to talk a little bit right now, actually, about the crypto markets, because it's been a crazy year in 2020. We've seen Bitcoin drop to lows of 4K, sort of going all the way up to 12K, now down to 10K. And people seem to be bothered by the fact that, Bitcoin is back down to 10K. So for me personally, I'm still thinking this is quite interesting. This is still quite good. So are you bullish? Are you bearish? Like, what kind of market do you think we're in right now? What is going on?
So I think what happened in this blockchain system market dynamic is very interesting. So during the ICO boom, a lot of ICOs launched great ideas. And at the time when the markets are doing well, those ideas and the token models were valued for their future values, already counting in the usage, the adoption rates, etc. And then once the market dropped for market reasons, then those valuations dropped to perceived current values. And then it took several years for projects to develop the technology, find the true market fit. Some ideas turned out not to be worthy of pursuing, etc. But now when a couple years passed, a lot of these projects are now coming out with great products, great use cases, traction, adoption, and that started to fuel back some of this optimism that, when those projects start having real use cases, where, people started to calculate their values again. And what happened is DeFi started to happen almost at the same time, and when DeFi fueled this reaction with new ideas, which are now also being funded. So it's a combination of factors, but I think this this price drop or whatever of Bitcoin and the price fluctuations of Ethereum, I think it's really a healthy breathing of a market. Now I wouldn't call it a drop, so Bitcoin 12,000 to 10,000, I wouldn't call it a fundamental, I wouldn't say that it shows something fundamental. I think it's markets reacting to the previous activity, which is for the last couple of months was super active. A lot of funding went into DeFi or these ICO projects which already have products, etc. So I would say now markets are still growing. I think there's more and more ideas going onto the market, as well as the previous projects already delivering great products, great value. And I see that trend, not broken still. I think this is a healthy breathing of an overinflated reaction, which happens in the not so mature markets. Crypto compared to, general finance is still, pretty small. But we see it's definitely growing, and we see there's more ideas coming out, not less. So I would say crypto is still, very early in terms of market adoption.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, I keep hearing about how it's sort of that healthy pullback. It doesn't mean anything negative in terms of like a fundamental setback for any of the, for Bitcoin or for Ethereum. But just really briefly, actually, you mentioned DeFi there. So are you sort of suggesting in some way that this DeFi craze is sort of taking the attention away from Bitcoin, market attention, or not quite?
It might be. So some attention is definitely taken, especially by the speculators. So they always are drawn to better yields and a higher risk profiles. So for sure, that is some part of it. And as I mentioned, there's definitely a lot of great ideas coming on, but also, there has always been speculation in crypto, and there's people trying to get most of these opportunities, and and that's how it works. So, there was definitely some attention stolen by the DeFi movement from some of the other projects or the main cryptocurrencies. But again, Bitcoin proved to be still, the asset people go back to, or Ethereum is still, the most popular smart contract platform, even though there's a lot of blockchains now still trying to gain their trust. So I think some of the, I think you put it very well. Some of the attention was drawn to it, but it's not going to be either very large, because people who keep attention on DeFi, they definitely keep an eye on Bitcoin as well. So it's not like
Right.
they forgot Bitcoin or Ethereum or general crypto market. And I think a lot of the participants in the market, they have sort of an eye for a long-term fundamental views, and they also, some of them anticipate short-term opportunities as well. So the short-term attention span, I think, is short-lived, but I don't think any significant attention will go away from crypto market in general, or the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the likes.
And you mentioned a lot of different projects there, a lot of different projects that came out during the ICO boom of 2017. So I kind of want to talk about enterprise actually right now, understand what does enterprise mean for you, and why does blockchain technology actually need enterprise at all?
Sure. So, what enterprises means to me personally, I think enterprise means sales. It's mainly sales organizations where they have established base of customers. They have established proven track record of delivering products and serving those customers. And obviously, where they are lacking of is speed and innovation in general, in most cases. And that's why this symbiosis of enterprises working with startups is inevitable and is beneficial, because the startups are way quicker and way more agile to experiment and don't spend too much capital. They don't have existing clients. So they can create the new products, new ideas. They don't need to fit new products into existing client portfolios. So the innovation phase is much quicker. But for startups to pass through a certain range of trust, quality, service level agreements, sometimes partnerships with enterprises are inevitable. And for example, in our industry, which is internet, still there's quite a few major players in cloud industry, in internet service provider industry. So in order for you to get trusted and your product to get tested well, you need either their clients, or you need the actual enterprise adoption, so that you can say the product's tested well enough, because most of internet traffic, still goes through between businesses, and there's many other industries where enterprises still makes up most of the market. So you kind of need to work with them and bring your benefit to the enterprises and get the most benefit out of enterprises to keep that relationship healthy. And why enterprises need blockchain is, also one of the reasons is definitely to keep up to speed, right? Because we saw how much innovation came with the DeFi, with the ICO, with the blockchain, smart contracts. There was just ideas which were not possible before this, paradigm of smart contracts and blockchain. So they need to keep an eye on it. They need to find use cases where blockchain technology is good for that. And I think what will happen is crypto industry and the startups will perfect the ideas and the smart contracts, the blockchains, to a level where we gain enough trust, and using a blockchain-based system becomes actually like technically better or faster, or whatever they claim to be. And at those points, enterprises will be ready to adopt. So I think, they're now definitely having a look at a much more serious look at blockchain. We experienced that firsthand. Companies are definitely looking at blockchain solutions. They're analyzing, they're testing it. They, of course, have some barrier of trust. They have existing clients. So they're still, not as fast to jump on it.
Let me just jump in then. Let me just jump in then, because you're sort of like moving on to looking at mass adoption here. So in your opinion, what do you think mass adoption would actually look like? And talk to me about some of the hurdles actually to sort of getting there.
Sure. Yeah. So mass adoption, in my opinion, will be when you will use some blockchain solution as part of your everyday routines, right? So if you take your phone out and use Uber or whatever, if those applications use blockchain solutions in their backend systems, because they became actually better, faster, more trusted than the traditional centralized systems, you wouldn't even know. But then your apps, your everyday utilities will happen through blockchain. And then the second part of the adoption is actually retail adoption, which is, you and me actually using crypto on our daily lives. So, and for that user interface needs to become way better in anything to do with crypto. So I think, you mentioned the hurdles. So, one of the main hurdles for retail users to adopt blockchain is user interface. It's just not clear enough, not convenient enough. It's still very difficult and still moves a lot of people away because they just wary of the risks of losing their capital or just not being able to use it. So I think that will drive retail adoption. But then for the enterprises and the backend systems, I believe personally, and our company believes fundamentally distributed things are better and they can work better. And that's why we're doing it as well. But it will take time for them to get enough trust to be adopted by those enterprises or large scale backend systems. And it will take, some time to get perfected so that they're actually faster, actually more reliable, or do more utilities.
Yeah.
And for me, that's a function of time. For me, that will happen. And then we'll just see, who will be the first ones to create those great systems.
I think you make two really important points there. One about user interface, and the second about, it's only really mass adoption when we don't know we're using it. You mentioned Uber there, and I think that's exactly right. Like smartphones, we sort of don't know necessarily the technology behind it or how it works or even the internet, but we use it and it works. And as for user interface, I think, I'm trying to get my family into blockchain and crypto, and it's just not simple. There's it's difficult. And that kind of brings me on to my next point actually about DeFi, because I want to get your thoughts on it. Because Uniswap has been huge right now. I've sort of dabbled in it a little bit, and honestly, it's, gas fees aside, it's still very difficult to use. So I kind of want to get your thoughts on DeFi. Is it just simply one of those buzzwords of the year, like, ICOs in 2017? Or do you think, there's actually something to be aware of here and, be watching?
Yeah, so I think DeFi as a concept is super powerful. I personally believe a lot in it because I have a finance background as well. DeFi as a concept together with blockchain enables, $700-800 trillion industries of derivatives, stocks, markets, anything to do with finance. It's the biggest industry in the world, finance. To be moved on to the blockchain to get better trust, better distribution, decentralization, to enable new financial products or to control them better because the smart contracts and code is doing that. So we don't get into situations like 2008 where just no one understood the full complexity of system. So I think as a concept, it will bring a lot, and it's fundamentally more powerful than just running things on Excel sheets and databases and basically dealing with finance that way. What will happen? I think some great products will crack the puzzle of user interface and then make people use DeFi product without understanding it and give a better utility. Those projects I think will flourish, and then the other parts, the other projects are, the real projects would have well documented token-based models, calculated finance things where things make sense and the ecosystems make sense. I think they will turn out to be, working well. But of course, some projects will turn out to be, not calculated enough, and those will pass. So I think it will live through a cycle. It will live through a cycle where people will basically, separate the short-lived opportunities from a long-lived new great economic models and great products which can be utilized for the public good. And then those who will manage to bring it to the masses, I think will be the next big names.
Okay, so really briefly, just finally for us, what projects other than Noia have you got your eyes on at the moment?
Okay, yeah, so I would probably refrain from naming too many names, not to be a financial advice, but if we just take a recent example of Chainlink and its partnership with Oracle and how they brought a lot of companies into their ecosystem, I think that's the way to go to encourage other startups, other technology companies to build on your ecosystems, to create use cases and then get usability on your platforms. So I think what they did right was instead of just doing marketing efforts or dry statistical modeling, they actually invited a lot of developers to to build on their ecosystems and prove that, you can use this product, it helps, it enables other new ideas and utilities. And that's, what eventually driven both the price up, and then what happens when the price of the good token models goes up, it enables the utility. So, in certain tokenomics models, you need token to have a price so that the utility starts working. So I think that was a great approach in getting traction, getting usage, and then fundamentally making your ecosystem work.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I was going to ask you about Chainlink anyway, but I sort of was interested just to sort of hear what you would say, because Chainlink, what a run it's had. I'm super excited to see if it continues, given, DeFi and Oracle solutions are very much popular right now. I guess I could put it that way.
Yeah,
so,
and
Jonas,
I wouldn't comment too much on the token model. I haven't looked at it deeply, actually. But what I really liked is how they brought developers to build on their ecosystem, and then real enterprises, companies actually using the technology. So I found that rare, and I found that really encouraging, and I like that approach. But of course, I believe anyone should look at the token models and try to see it makes sense. And then do decisions that way, as opposed to chase a short-term opportunity, because that is just very risky.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got our eyes on it. And like you said, there has been a lot of partnerships. So for me personally, I'm definitely following Chainlink. So Jonas, I want to thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show with us today.
No problem at all.